Hey everyone, welcome back to my C# for Beginners series. Today we're going to be talking about methods, what they are, how to use them, and why we need them. This is yet again one of the fundamental concepts of programming that you'll need in order to write complex programs, and you'll encounter it in various forms and names in pretty much any language. Speaking of complex programs, how would you code a monster like YouTube or Chrome? You can't even begin to comprehend the complexity of such a behemoth, right? So where do you even start, and how do you remember what is where? They probably have millions or tens of millions of lines of code. Can you imagine a giant file like that? You can't even open it in an IDE like Visual Studio to edit it. It is precisely for this purpose that we have methods, which help us split codes into logical functional pieces of executable codes. Anyway, let's see how the most simple method looks like. Simple, right? The void keyword tells the compiler that this method doesn't return or give back a value. It just does something, but it doesn't give back a result. Next we have the method's name, writeGreeting, but we could name it whatever we wanted, as long as it's something that describes what this method should do. Notice that unlike variables, method names are written with Pascal casing, meaning each word starts with a capital letter and they don't use dashes, underscores, etc. between words. Also notice that methods should be called using a verb, something that suggests an action, like download file, print document, calculate invoice total, etc. This is not mandatory, but it's a standard that everyone follows and you should adopt it too, otherwise everyone will hate you and your work colleagues will come after you with a chainsaw. After the name, we must put an opening and closing parentheses. You'll see why in the next video. Finally, we have a block of code delimited by the opening and closing curly brackets, and between them we put the codes that we want to be executed as part of this method, in our case printing a message on the console. So how do we execute writeGreeting? The official term used is that we call or we invoke a method when we want it to execute its codes. To call writeGreeting and run it, all I need to do is write its name followed by the same round parentheses that I used when I declared it. And of course we need the omnipresent semicolon character at the end, but if I run it, you can see that it's printing the message. If I call it multiple times, it will execute multiple times. And this also means that methods are reusable pieces of code. It's not visible here, but if writeGreeting was 50 lines of code and I wanted it to execute 10 times, all I needed to do was to invoke it 10 times. Done. Something like this. I will not write all of them, you get the idea. But if I didn't use a reusable method, I'd have to copy-paste those 50 lines of code 10 times and I would end up with 500 lines of duplicate code. What a mess! Can you imagine trying to modify something in all those places? Because yes, when you use a method, if you modify it, it immediately updates for all the places that call it. That alone makes method awesome. Now here is something interesting you might have noticed. I'm calling writeGreeting before I even declared it in the code and after I declared it. If you remember from the video about variables, you cannot use a variable before you declare it. But with methods it's different. You can call them from anywhere in your file, regardless of the actual place where you wrote the method definition. Pretty cool, isn't it? And for this video, have some practice. Create a few different methods. Maybe one that prints your favorite quote, or one that displays some ASCII art. You get the idea. If you don't know what ASCII art is, it's practically images made up entirely of text characters like this. In the next video, we'll make these methods way more powerful and flexible by adding parameters, so we can customize what they do. And we'll also talk about something crucial called variable scope. For now, here is a little teaser. We've actually been using an invisible method all along in every single program we've written without even knowing it. Can you guess what it is? I'll reveal the mystery in the next lesson. For now, that like button feels really lonely over there and could use some mouse caresses. Same for its big brother, the subscribe button. Cheers guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next tech frame.